you look around the league, there's a lot of teams, in the hunt. We're in the hunt. You sit here and you say, hey, Thanksgiving, and close to the end of November, and we're in the hunt. When you sit around that table tomorrow, you're saying we're in the hunt. And there's a lot of teams that wish they were in the hunt. Well, we're in the hunt.
Now, before you all get mad at me, I'll admit I was wrong, but I quit the pod in the first quarter. And it wasn't just because the Bills were down. It's because I physically can't take it. Like, I'm not. John Elway used to say that the lows were so much lower than the highs were higher. And he lost 3 Super Bowls and then won a Super Bowl. And even after the first Super Bowl, he was like, that wasn't good enough. I can't take the Bills being good.
Also, for our listeners, we should let them know that you quit the pod every first quarter.
Yes, but this one, this time, like, it was a longer, this wasn't just a no pod text I sent to you guys. This one was seriously, I know I goof around and I know you're going to say I'm being dramatic, but I cannot do the podcast. Mm-hmm. That's what I said. I said, I'm no longer doing the podcast. Mm-hmm. And then I did get back into the podcast before the game was over, just so everyone knows. Like, I'm not just fly by night. I'm back on the podcast. So it should be positive. I'm being a jerk. Yeah. This is like the greatest game ever.
I just want to make sure our fans know to not panic. Greg's here for life. He made a deal with the devil and he's never going anywhere.
Yeah, we'll see. Today, I'm not going anywhere today. Holy shit. Yes. What do you want to do? You want to do boners for a half an hour like of that game? And for me, it's the Teron Johnson interception because I was flaccid for 65 minutes of this football game, and then that happened.
65 minutes of real time or football time?
I meant to say 59 minutes, but I can't even talk.
Well, I'm surprised so just the way the Bills and the Chiefs play each other, Dawson Knox scores that touchdown. I don't even celebrate.
Yeah.
I mean, the initial, I'm like, awesome. Yes. And then right after I go, this is going to hurt so much more. Like, the bar I was at played the shout song. I did not do like I didn't get into it. I go, why are we going to get into this? This game was going to come down to who had the ball last. And I was like, it's going to be the Chiefs have the ball last. That's how this goes. And I was glad I was wrong.
Well, I would like to submit for your approval, boner of the game. I mean, it has to be that Allen hurdle. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a play when you watch with people, as I did, the entire place erupts because it's a thing you just so rarely see.
Yeah.
I've got a lot to say about the hurdle, but go ahead.
I was very nitpicky where I right away.
Wait.
Yes,
you?
He was yelling at Tremaine Edmonds during the hurdle. He was like, Tremaine Edmonds could have done more on that play in the special teams.
You're telling me Allen hurdles a guy, runs another 10 yards, and then goes out of bounds. And I was like, you can't stay in. You gotta go. That's funny. You knew enough to get over. You had enough to get over a guy. Stay on your feet. And then you were like, nah, I got it. I'm leaning out of bounds. I'm like, dude, just get past the sticks and lay on the ground. But again, that was me being like, why are you giving the Chiefs any time?
Mm-hmm. That hurdle, because they won, I did feel that way. Like, I wanted him to get out of bounds there. I wasn't as mad, but I was like, ooh, I would have liked for him to stay in bounds. Not mad,
just a little.
Yeah, you're right. Like, it would have been nice if he stayed in bounds. That hurdle, though, because they won, is just, oh God, that's just so beautiful. It's the exact. So what Josh Allen has is the hurdles. What Patrick Mahomes has is like the sidearm, arm skill. So you're always going to have to see Patrick Mahomes' sidearm, silly, no-look type throws. Josh Allen has the hurdle, and like it wins this week. Like, that is the winner. Like, for the rest of the season, we don't have to play Kansas City until the playoffs. Let's just enjoy that hurdle. I've got so many things to say. I hate this podcast. Let's end the podcast. I've got a lot to say. I'm emotional.
3-0 in hurdle games.
Minnesota Chiefs and Chiefs. Is that
There's got to be another hurdle.
There's another hurdle. Did he hurdle Cowboy? I thought he hurdled. Well, that would be 4-0. Let me go to joshhurdle.com because now there's so many of them.
For the first time all season, the running game looked great. Singletary,
I have it in my notes.
17 for 85. I mean,
a bit misleading I will say, because I believe in the first half, he legitimately had 7 or 9 carries for 73 yards and then somehow finished with 6 more yards than that. But again, they clearly in the second half were like, we got to stop letting them run for 9 yards a carry.
That was neat, though.
But it didn't stop. In the beginning of the game, they were running so well. I kind of had visions of the whole like first Super Bowl with Belichick being like, I'm going to let them run all over us, but they won't be able to pass. But then I was like, but they're passing at will. Yeah. So I guess it just doesn't fucking matter.
That's the thing, like win or I don't want to say win or lose because we already know this team's kind of good, but like I felt decent because they were passing on them. It was just like a classic Bills boneheaded mistakes like that. That McKenzie man had one of the brutalest games I've seen a Bills player have, especially in a victory. I mean, there was that option fumble, which maybe wasn't all on him, but still,
I don't think it was on him.
Yeah, very much but still, kind of fall on the ball at that point, but then the drop TD.
I think he had 4 dropped passes. Now 2 were tough. People were jumping all over, and I haven't tweeted the game about McKenzie, but people were jumping all over. He was trending on Twitter for a little bit for the drops, but it was tough.
2 of them, especially the touchdown, was rough, man. It was a rough game for him.
I have a McKenzie story. Friday night, we went out to dinner with my niece and her husband. We were going to a rock and roll show. We went to Allentown Burger Venture, and Isaiah McKenzie was there.
Whoa!
And so my nephew's husband, my niece's husband, was
Greg burned his hands.
No, this is funny. This is funny. Like maybe this got into his head. So he's there, and my niece's husband's like, I think that's Isaiah McKenzie, and I was like, don't bother him. Like just let the dude have his dinner. And like he's like, I think it's him, and he's Googling Isaiah McKenzie's girlfriend. Is like, yeah, that looks like her. Oh, he's got a tattoo. That's him. And I was just like, just let him. He does on his hand. So it's like, so we knew it was him while we were there. And I was like, do whatever you want. I would love it if that dude just got to enjoy a meal and not get bothered.
Yeah.
And then as I'm leaving, I was like, I think McKenzie, like he does those dance videos, dresses really nice. Maybe he's like sitting at Allentown Burger Venture and like, man, I thought Bills fans like, no one's even said hi to me. Like I thought someone would buy me a beer. Like maybe it's been in his head since Friday that no one likes him. So he keeps dropping passes.
Yeah.
So that's all on me.
If you would have bought him a beer, this is a 40 to 17.
Oh God, we would have blown him out. So sorry.
The tweet of the game, I got there's probably 100 better ones, but I got in early on the McKenzie thing. This guy's name is Peter Farrell, maybe, at P Farrell USRT. He said, McKenzie is today's GOAT thus far, not to be confused with GOAT. But he had the second GOAT in all caps. So I guess if it's not all caps, you're the animal GOAT. And if it's all caps, you're the greatest of all time. So keep that in mind when you're talking about me.
Yeah. Well, like we said, we always say you're.
But we don't specify. We don't say you're the GOAT. We say you're the GOAT.
It's all about voice inflection. Kyle's the GOAT.
Kyle is the GOAT.
We kind of brought this up earlier. Kind of surprising with how much the run game has struggled outside of this game that they haven't done more of those cute little jet sweeps with McKenzie.
At all. It's weird. Yeah, they haven't done a lot this season.
You know what I did like though, regardless of the jet sweeps, quarterback sneaks. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
This was the first time I've seen it all year, I think. Like legitimately, not even joking. I don't remember the last time I saw a quarterback sneak on a 3rd and 1, and they did 2 today. And guess what? They got both easily.
And they did a cute little thing where Gabe Davis lined up behind Josh and pushed his little butt forward when they hiked it, which fun. That's a fun idea.
You think he copped a feel?
Yeah. I would at this point. Like
why wouldn't you?
That's just teammates being good teammates,
Yeah. They love butts.
He'd be trying to get back in the huddle. He'd be trying to get back in the huddle, and I'd just be rubbing. Hey, good job, guy.
They still, I mean, again, this is kind of our complaint corner here, but they still had some kind of bonehead short yardage stuff And again, like a short yardage, a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and you run a toss sweep to McKenzie, and it's just like, I'm not McKenzie, to Singletary, and I'm like, that guy's not fast enough for a sweep, man. Like,
see, I didn't mind that play. I didn't mind that play. Casey did a good job to stop it. Obviously, they didn't get it, but it's way better than just going up the middle. I hate just going up the middle.
Yeah, but not going up the middle with Allen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, go in the 1940s I formation, but Jesus.
And also the ultimate bonehead was the end of the first half, where they managed to get, 2 to 3 plays to get a long field goal, which, when that happened, I was just like, man, if they win by 3, we're going to be hearing about this.
I mean, it was legitimately 12 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And they got within field goal. It was the exact same thing.
And the only thing they changed was the squib on the kick, which I guess fair enough. But like, of all these stuff, people spent the entire year being like, defensive line, don't rush, just throw your hands in the air, or like just foul people to get the clock around. Like all these ideas people had, and they just felt like they didn't. They had the exact same scenario, and they didn't do anything.
So I want to make a point on the Teron Johnson interception in case it hasn't been said yet. Like you'll have fun watching that all week. I can't wait to rewatch this game. That was Von Miller. Like that was the different. Like he was so good. He had 2 sacks in this game. He had a lot of pressures. He, I think, forces Mahomes on that play, which is exactly what you have to do to Mahomes. He's not perfect. And Von Miller, I think that last interception, like great play by Johnson, but that's all Miller on that play.
This game, I thought, lived up to all the hype, despite being a relatively low scoring game. The game did not cover the spread or whatever the score. It was, I believe it was 54.5.
The Bills
no. Yeah, the total was 54.5, and they only got 44. But what made this game, you knew right away, even when it was 3-0, you were like, there's still, at this point, it ended with maybe 700 yards of total offense. Like it was just like, this is football. You know what I mean? You watch so many of those 1:00 games, and you're just like, I'm watching Bailey Zappi play like against Jacoby Brissett. And you're like, even when it was 3-0, you're like, this is way more entertaining than those games.
The fact that the touchdowns weren't being made was just a happenstance. The yards were happening. I also want to say on Greg's Von Miller point, maybe a secret boner of the game, or I think a chub is.
I like secret boner. That'd be my band name.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are secret boner.
I think secret boner would just be all of high school. I mean,
mine was not a secret. Yeah.
Well, I know you were well endowed there.
That was everyone's well-known.
You're a big sweatpant guy.
Yeah, Greg wears sweatpants every day to high school.
No underwear, sweatpants.
The principal's bringing you to the office. Greg, you got to stop getting boners and wearing sweatpants to school. I told you.
They used to use me as a limbo stick.
You're like Jeffrey Dahmer. You just didn't kill people. You're just weird in high school.
That's the nicest thing that everyone says about me. I'm like Jeffrey Dahmer, but I just didn't kill people. So I was like Jeffrey Dahmer, but I had no stick to itiveness. Like, I had no hustle.
You didn't have
lazy Jeffrey Dahmer.
you were like, God, I'd love to kill and eat people, but boy, am I tired.
Can I get a nap in first before I off and eat some people? Whatever. I'll eat them tomorrow.
So anyway, Von Miller.
No. Real quick, this game you're talking about, like how it felt, like it wasn't just a zap game. Nance and Romo, like at the end of the game, sounded exhausted in a good way. Like, holy shit, I didn't know how the hell that was gonna. Like, I've never heard announcers after a game like exhale like that. Like, it was fun for them to watch. That's all I wanted to say.
So the Von Miller secret boner was that I don't know if this was counted as one of his sacks or this was just a tackle, but when Mahomes was dancing all over the place and he lunged and got him by his like toes,
that was a game
before he could have probably got like 30 yards on a scale. Like that play was huge.
Yeah. And that was he gained like 3 or 4 yards. So that was not a sack, but yes, excellent secret boner.
I also want to take 1 minute of our podcast
Okay.
To again,
You've never only taken a minute.
Yeah.
no,
This
that's
is going to
true.
be.
I'm already on 30 seconds to be
I'm
honest.
going to time it.
It is amazing how amazing Patrick Mahomes is. That's all I wanted to say is like, I'm glad we have Allen.
Yep.
But watching Mahomes play is just as magical as what I imagine when other fans watch Allen play and they just go, what the fuck? Every time I watch Mahomes, I go, this guy is insane. Mm-hmm. He makes plays all over, just like Allen. He makes plays all over the field.
I feel that way about Travis Kelce. Like, I know it's Mahomes, like always finding him. I fucking hate
I've never.
Travis Kelce. He's so fucking good.
It reminds me of prime Rob Gronkowski, where you're just like, can you just put 3 guys on him? I just don't know the rules of football. Can something happen with can tight end? Are tight ends allowed to be this good?
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's about as unstoppable as, again, prime Rob Gronkowski, when it was just like, oh yeah, every defensive coordinator going into the game, we're like, they're going to put our strong safety because he's 6'2" and he could match up. No, we're going to put a linebacker and a strong safety. We're going to chip him every single play, and nothing works. The guy runs past linebackers. He runs past safeties. He's phenomenal. It's insane. It's also insane that the Bills have never in their lifetime had lucked into an amazing tight end. And I don't even know if they would use them.
You never heard of Lonnie Johnson?
Was he better than Travis Kelce?
No, he was just.
Well, also,
he had frying pans for hands.
You're comparing him to one of like the best tight ends in modern history. So like,
you wonder if he keeps going, if he'll be up in that. Like, you got your Tony Gonzalez's, you got your
he just
Mark
passed
Bavaro's.
I believe
Winslow.
He just passed him today for like most 100-yard games or something.
Oh, did he really?
Or to start a season, something. It came up on the screen, but I was a couple pumpkin shots deep. You know.
Oh boy.
Oh, pumpkin whiskey, pumpkin.
I was at an open bar, man.
Oh.
He was at an apple
pumpkin beers.
Event.
Then is that what you're doing?
No, pumpkin shots.
Oh, what that's what I mean. What was the liquor?
That's where there was no liquor. It's just where you put your balls in an open pumpkin.
Oh, they call that the secret boner.
The pumpkin shot.
It's called it the jack-o'-lantern.
I don't call it.
That's why you should be a patron.
I don't know the name of it, man, but it was a pumpkin. The bartender was like, I asked for a shot of like Jack Fire, something easy. And she goes, we're out of it. And I was like, just give me something on par with that. That's not like Jameson. I need something light. And she was like, we have pumpkin. I was like, give me the fucking pumpkin, lady.
Was she attractive? Describe her. Slowly.
She might be a listener, so I'll say 10 out of 10.
That's right. In fact, all of our listeners are 10 out of 10s.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Listening
to this podcast.
I've seen Thomas Mulcahy in person. I'm going to give him a 9.5.
Well, you know what? I feel like we haven't done this in a while, Kyle, but do you have any all 22?
Yeah. Break it down, Turner.
Breakdowns.
No, I was hammered. The only thing I wanted. No way.
Oh, wow. What do we got here? Is this a boat horn? Did we get a boat horn?
That's a boat horn because
this could be anything.
Did he retire?
We have a Bortles Reportals.
Wow.
I think he retired.
Well, let the Bortles Reportals tell us what's going on. I don't trust my news.
It interrupted me. I can't fucking.
I don't watch the weather for the news.
Yeah.
Wait for the anchors to talk.
Okay, here we go. This came in fresh today. Nothing better than when I open my email with a fresh Bortles Reportals, so we could give it to the listeners.
Farm fresh.
And here we go. Here it is. Enjoy.
Oh, we back, baby. It's the return of everyone's favorite segment. Guys, it's time for one final Bortles Reportals. And I know I say one final. You all probably have heard the news. The boat is retiring from the NFL. Asked for his release, and looks like he's going to finally hang him up. Probably focused on being a construction worker, ripping some cigs. I don't really know. But what I do know is that Double B is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I know that Kyle and Greg are not going to agree with this. So just to make sure you understand how great this guy was, Here's just a few little fun facts for you. Blake Bortles, tied for the best playoff win percentage. 4th most rushing yards per attempt in NFL history. I said in NFL history. It's better than Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith. I don't really know the list, but he's 4th. It's all that matters. He's on there. This guy has more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins. I can continue to name names if I had to. This guy has more playoff wins than all of them. He's also one of 5 quarterbacks in the NFL history again to have 4,000 passing yards, and 35 passing touchdowns in his first 2 seasons. If that doesn't say that he is the greatest quarterback of all time, you're crazy. We're putting up a Mount Rushmore. It's Blake Bortles, Josh Allen, Blake Bortles, and Blake Bortles. So, with all that out of the way, guys, again, the day has finally come for the boat to set sail. I appreciate y'all coming along on this ride with me. I'm going to go and put on my Blake Bortles jersey, probably cry a little bit, but thank you all. Blake Bortles, out.
Wow, a somber last, like that. That's a good series finale for Bortles Reportals.
There's also no way that's true. Those stats were not true. He has more playoff wins than Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl and got to another. I mean, that alone.
Yeah. He has more playoff.
Doesn't make sense.
He has more playoff wins than Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Tanner McKee. Well, those are all I Googled the top college quarterback prospects because they haven't played in the NFL yet. So,
but
good.
That might be our finals Bortles Reportals, and what a day! It's a bittersweet day here in the hunt.
Maybe he can like pick up on Zach Wilson and do reports on him since. And speaking of the Jets, I want to mention this. This is about the Bills. We're going to get back on street. Like the best thing about this win to me is, yes, they beat the Chiefs. Yes, that's awesome, but you have the now like game and a half to 2 games up on them, like because they not only have to like win 1 more game than you're tied, so that they win 2 more games than you. So that's good. So if you take that in hand, the biggest threat to the Bills right now in the AFC is the New York Jets because they're 4-2 and you're 5-1. Like that's after 6 weeks of football, the team you have to worry about the most is Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. This fucking conference is garbage.
Yes, I agree with you, but I like probably more so the Dolphins because their losses came without Tua. They have the win over us. Like they're at least a team I could see making some noise, but like Baltimore, not only do we have the win over, but they've kind of looked up and down all season. The AFC West, I mean, I guess the Chargers are good, but no one's really making a stamp on being scary.
No.
Yeah. The
Chargers
Bengals
played them
won
around
today. Not that they look anything compared to the Chiefs, anything good compared to the Chiefs or the Bills, but like, I'm not counting out
that's fair.
Joe Burrow there. I think he stinks, but whatever.
Oh, okay. Not counting him out, but you think he stinks.
I never.
Teams that stink make the playoffs, so you can say they stink and not count them out.
They stunk last year and made the Super Bowl.
I have a couple of things here. First of all, Josh Allen, the first starting QB to beat Mahomes twice at Arrowhead Stadium.
Whoa.
Yeah, come with stats. A lot of people I saw online were giving Frazier props for putting Milano as a Mahomes spy in the second half. They've been really good with second half adjustments this year, and that seemed to be one of them. Milano, again, just another like insane game. Just great tackling. It's wild.
He had boner moments. If it was, it's a shame he couldn't get all the boners. 10 points in the second half.
Italian boner, that guy.
So I know they only given up like 7 points in the first 5 games, but to only give up 10 points to the Chiefs in the second half is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to make sure we talk about was that, and obviously this is another thing that had we lost, we'd be talking about for 15 minutes, unfortunately, was the tripping play. It also just seems like there was a lot of, which is, I don't mind when refs do this, but it seemed like they were like, hey, we're not going to call any holding at the line for this entire game. And if both teams kind of know that, then it's kind of fair game. But like, I thought that tripping thing seems so obvious. Jeremy White had a funny tweet where he said maybe they'll add a new rule where you could challenge tripping for next year. That was a bit of a wild. He was so frustrated after that play, and you could see why.
No, that one was, again, like I kind of almost give the refs a break when it comes to like pass interference, because it's easy for us to lose our minds when they slow it down and you're
Yes,
like, oh, he did
100%.
grab him. But when it happens like that, you're like, I don't know, man. I thought he just had his hand on him. But like, that was clear as day.
Yeah. And the ref was right there.
His hands weren't anywhere near him. Like, how
Yeah.
else would he have fallen? And yeah, it sucked. I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad we just don't have to fucking hear about it.
Yes.
Wonderful. You don't have to worry. I'm going to go to a cider festival next week, and I would have just stayed home. Like I might have called into work. Like we would have. It's 2 weeks. That's the thing, going into a bye week. So you get to be happy for 2 weeks and watch football. I'll probably go. I have a gift card to Buffalo Wild Wings, which I wouldn't normally go to, but I have like $28 sitting on a gift card for Buffalo Wild Wings. I'll probably use it next Sunday and just go watch football and like eat subpar chicken tenders and drink beer just because the Bills won. And I get to laugh at all the other AFC teams.
Well, hey, if you're a fan of the podcast, you want to go hang out with Greg.
Let me know. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
I had 1 year.
I would never go there, but I have a gift
sure,
card to get to watch football.
I 1 year, like 10 years ago, I got a $50 gift card to Applebee's. Naturally, didn't use it.
Yeah.
The next year, this is like a friend of the family where you're like, you don't have to give me anything.
He likes beer and football.
They go to Tops and they're like, they just pick off the little rack there.
Hey, Kyle looks like he likes shitty food.
Yeah.
That's right. Kyle needs diarrhea. So.
The next year he got me $50 again. He got me $50 gift card again. So I had $100 to Applebee's. And I took 3 friends and I said, let's just go nuts and order all the appetizers on the menu. And we did. Dan Fisher was there.
Oh.
The unofficial fourth host.
I must not answer my phone.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I didn't know you at the time.
Look, we've been doing this podcast for 5 years.
Dude, this was like 2012.
Oh, yeah. No,
I would have invited us because we could have had a fucking Patreon idea.
Someday.
You ever get a little stressed because you're like, I mean, Patreon ideas are a little tough to, we get them going, but you're like, what are we going to be talking about in 5 years? and then you get a little stressed over it, and you're like, don't worry about it. That's 5 years problem.
We've already pitched Kyle and Greg go to the mall. So like,
it's in the works.
We're literally going to be like Kyle and Greg go skydiving. Yeah. That's going to be one.
Kyle and Greg try CPAP. Oh, let's read the results after sleeping for 40 minutes. See how many times their heart stopped. That stuff sounds like a fun episode. There's got to be more to this game that we haven't talked. Oh, that was it. The touchdown to Diggs, the placement of the ball and how it just hits his hand so delicately. Like that fucking touchdown pass. That's like it came in 4th in plays of the game.
Yeah.
And it's just and even the Davis one is beautiful too, but the Diggs one in particular. What a beautiful passing catch.
Diggs 10 catches, 148 yards.
He might be first in the NFL.
It was no, I think Tyreek Hill went wild today, and he was already ahead of him. But I thought for sure we'd have a little bit more of James Cook with Moss being inactive. Yeah. I think the guy got 2 snaps. Like, I don't remember seeing him at all.
And Singletary was running well, but to your point earlier, Kyle, like maybe like a pitch here and there, like you would think. Yeah,
I don't. I mean, whatever. I'm not complaining. Like Singletary was running great in between the tackles. But again, if you're running a sweep, I either want a jet sweep or James Cook, who's fast.
And I wondered who too, especially because as we ran less as the game went on, and I don't know if that was the Chiefs changing something, or I mean, it seemed like a little bit they had a banged up secondary, and I don't know how much they were like, let's try running it and see if they are totally unprepared for that.
Yeah.
And
they were 100% prepared, I thought, in the second half.
Yeah.
No, it was, maybe it's easy to say from a bar, but it's one of those where you're like, in the second half, they clearly adjusted to stop the run. And then after like 5 runs of no yards or minimal gain, I'm like, just give it up. just stop,
Mhm.
just pass. You need to pass because you knew this game was going to pick up in the second half.
Yeah.
You knew it. You go, just the way it ended with the 12 seconds coming down, Buffalo scoring, the whole thing. I was like, this game's going to pick up in the second half. And I thought for sure, I go, this is going to be, again, last team that get the ball. And I was like, you got to go fast paced. The whole second half, I was like, you just have to be in like hurry up mode the whole time.
And what a game.
Yeah. Did you watch any 1:00 games?
Yes. Yep. I read.
Did you see the Jets Green Bay game? 2 blocked punts.
Yep.
Special teams is
dumb. We're not going to talk about the Green Bay game this episode because that's for our bye week episode. But I just want a little teaser. When you saw the schedule, and obviously it's a Sunday night game, there was a sense of like, this is going to be a big game, and the Packers look like a fucking mess.
And we bet them to have the best record in the NFL, not even the NFC, the NFL.
We also bet Breece Hall to lead the league in rushing.
He's coming on, man. He's coming on. That's a dark horse possibility.
So let's check on it real quick. Tyreek Hill is like 200 yards ahead of, 200 yards and 11 receptions ahead of Diggs. In rushing, Breece Hall is not. He's 13th. And he's like 300 yards behind.
But he just started getting all the carries.
Yeah.
Like 4 games.
Right.
So you get, if Chubb, Barkley, and Josh Jacobs get injured.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got some of them on fantasy, so let's relax a little bit.
Well, let's couch it.
We don't want to wish injuries, of course, on anyone else. And also, just so people know what we're talking about, in our Patreon episode, we bring in our favorite gambler, Louis G. And we do, we make 5 bets every year. Normally they're terrible. And, we mostly lived up to that.
The Patreon is something you can buy into. It's kind of like a secret boner.
Yeah.
Like get in on the secret. Is kind of what I'm trying to say here.
So
I forgot. I never gave my boner play of the game. I'll make it real quick. Okay. Just the Kyer Elam interception I thought was very good. And nice change because it's one of those, man, Bills march all the way down the field.
Yeah.
Turn it over on some fucking dumb play that you're like, what the fuck was happening here? And then they march all the way down the field and you go, oh boy, right away, 4 minutes in the game. You're like, it's going to be one of these shit. And then that's a fucking key play, man. That was great.
Wow.
He said
Kyle
it really
is quick
so
today.
Pumpkin shots for everyone before these things. Okay, let's stop doing the podcast.
No, we gotta do our Thomas Mulcahy gets a blurb. As always, we shouted him out earlier. Kyle did. He says, my heart can't take any more Bills Chiefs games, neither can my voice. Also, I think this was an interesting thing he said. Patrick Mahomes is the NFL's version of Sidney Crosby, complaining until he gets a flag. Now, that's an interesting conversation topic because I don't think I agree with that. I think most of the time he was reacting to a flag already being thrown.
I saw Allen complained about like the kick thing that didn't happen, and he's complained a little bit too. But it gets you what you need to do. I don't like it. I want my quarterbacks to not complain.
I agree, and I think Allen.
You agree with who?
I agree with you, Sean, not Thomas.
First time.
No, well, it's kind of a half agree.
He's gonna stop being a patron.
I think that.
You already called him a 9.5 out of 10 on the looks department. Jesus,
let's just kick him in the balls.
I think that Allen complains as much as Mahomes. Allen has turned into, he knows what he is, and he knows he can go complain to a ref, and the ref will listen a little more than fucking Zach Wilson. He knows it.
But I will also say, I don't know if either of them have got to the point where I think they complain too much. It's noticeable, but it's noticeable. But it's also not Tom Brady crazy, right? From the prime Tom Brady, where it feels like he would go complain to the ref, and the ref would like bow to him. You know what I mean? Put a finger up his ass and throw a flag. It hasn't reached that yet. Yeah, good. And also, in both of their defenses, most of the time they were complaining, they were right. Yeah. They're both little bitches, big bitches. Jesus. And I love ours. Oh, okay. That took It's always a lot of twists and turns when Kyle is speaking.
Yeah.
Trivia game, jersey on the line. Get yourself a nice Roger Saffold jersey.
He still plays for the team. You don't often do that.
Yeah, I know. I did. Well, he's been
current jersey on the line.
He's been low on Joe Biscaglia, Kyle's number one favorite person on his rankings this season. He's been okay so far this year, and I probably think this will be his last year on the team. So it's a preemptive jersey giveaway. So we have one game today. I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to give you. Don't worry, Kyle. Don't worry. I'm going to give you a title, and you have to tell me if it's a real show currently on CBS.
Oh, crap.
You see a lot of promos during the game, right? So you have to tell me is this a real show on CBS or a show I made up. We're going to start with Kyle. We have 5 rounds. Kyle, your first one. So help me, Todd.
No. There's no way, man. No way someone named a show that.
That is a real show.
Oh my God.
I would have got that one because I saw it and I thought, no fucking way. Should that be the show? Well, I knew that one.
Okay, Greg, well, let's see if you could get this one. Let's make a deal.
What?
I know at least used to be, so I'll say yes. It was Wayne Brady hosted.
Yep, correct.
Man, that was an easy one.
Well, Kyle, see if this is an easy one for you. Fire Country.
Yes.
I tweet about that all the time, so I knew that one. I'm glad you give it to
What's
Kyle,
it about? Is it about fire?
Fires. It's like the stupidest thing. Fire Country. Every tweet, like I keep tweeting, like episode 10 of Fire Country is like, look out, there's a fire. That has to be the whole fucking show.
All right, Greg, let's see if you could keep the lead here.
Take the lead. Come on.
SWAT.
SWAT is a fucking show. And if not, I hope you're listening to this in 3 weeks because it will be a show then. SWAT's a show.
Correct.
I didn't know for sure, but
this is right up Greg's alley. I feel like these CBS shows. He loves paying attention to these commercials. It's 2-1, Greg. Kyle, you're is this a CBS show or not? MacGyver.
Man, did they bring that back? Oh fuck. Yes.
No.
Yes. Correct.
They did.
They brought it back.
They brought back Quantum Leap. I didn't know if they brought back MacGyver.
It's a different show.
Well, it's like the era. It's like almost the same era.
Greg, to you. The Real Love Boat.
Yes, because my wife wanted me to recap it. She's taped it. We have episodes of that on my DVR. So I know
you have DVR.
Yes, I'm old as shit.
2007, man.
I have
a pencil sharpener in my house.
A wall one.
Yes, I do.
I guess I don't have a DVR. That is. I have YouTube TV. YouTube TV is pretty nice. Kyle,
I guess they should sponsor us.
To you. 2 more rounds here. It's 3-2, Greg.
I thought that was going to be the thing. 2 more rounds.
In the Hunt. Is that a CBS show?
Kyle, FBI Undercover.
It's like the FBI, but you don't know what they're undercover. Oh, I can see.
Well,
this.
here's
who's in this. Who's the one that used to be on the Ghost Whisperer? What's her name?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah,
she's an FBI undercover, and she's the head. She's undercover. The plot of the show.
She's the most undercover.
She's the most undercover FBI agent.
There is an FBI show, but I think it's something so fucking
her boss
dumb,
doesn't
FBI new agents.
She's thinking about leaving the FBI.
I got it. It's
starting her own coffee place.
I'm gonna say yes, it's a show because I know there's an FBI show.
Kyle, incorrect. This is a fake one.
Good job.
Was it inspired by FBI, like new agents?
Yes, FBI
is that the name of it?
in the open.
FBI,
just the FBI.
FBI, totally FBI.
Yeah. You are 100% FBI is the name of the show. Okay,
Greg, 3-2. This is big for you. NCIS Hawaii.
Are you kidding me right now, dude? Well,
so they did the Hawaii 5-0 show. They redid that. There's NCISs in like at least 4 different cities, probably New Orleans, New York, LA, Chicago, Do they do? No, they don't do one Hawaii. No.
Incorrect.
God damn it! I hate this country.
NCIS Hawaii is a real show. 3-2, Greg. Just like Bills v Chiefs, this is going down to the wire.
Last possession,
and everyone is equally as excited. Kyle, your last name, unless we need to go to overtime, where there will be a coin flip. NCIS New Orleans.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I told him it.
You did tell him that's 3-3, Greg.
Oh, I literally didn't hear you say that.
Yeah,
So
well, classic.
I just figured New Orleans crime.
Yeah.
There's got to be some NCISs
They're
there.
just cleaning up throw up.
FBI, NCIS, New Orleans.
Greg,
Are they undercover though?
this is for other marbles. If you don't get this, we go to overtime. Your show. NCIS Las Vegas.
Yes.
Incorrect.
Fuck.
That's a fake show. We're going into overtime. Kyle, FBI International.
No.
That's too easy. It's the federal, not the International Bureau of Investigation.
I
That's
literally,
Interpol.
in my head, I went, wouldn't that be the CIA? But I don't know. But yeah, that is not a show.
Well, I got bad news for you.
No way is FBI International a show. You got to be kidding me.
FBI International is the show.
What do they do?
They do what they do here. They just do it all over.
They just do it over there.
Yeah.
They kill John F. Kennedy everywhere.
That's right. They kill other countries. John F. Kennedy.
Okay,
Oh my God.
Greg, here we go. Tough as nails.
Oh my God. That's so bad. And it has to be CBS, right?
It has to be CBS.
Tough as nails.
Tough
Now, how do you
as
spell
nails.
tough?
Yeah.
Regular. No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Regular tough. Okay, I'm gonna say no.
That's a show.
Oh my
We're
God.
still in overtime. Kyle, to you. The Neighborhood.
Yeah, that sounds like a show.
That's correct. Okay,
Yes.
Greg, you need this.
Mhm.
The Equalizer.
Yes, it's Queen Latifah.
That's correct.
Mhm.
Kyle, back to you.
I swear to God.
East New York.
I swear to God, I thought you were gonna be like FBI, East New York.
FBI East New York. It's just East New York.
Just East New York.
Yes,
Okay.
East New York is a show.
That is a show.
Damn it, I would have said no.
Greg, to you.
Teenage Sheldon.
NCIS Los Angeles.
Yes.
That is a show.
Okay. I could throw this because I want to stop doing the podcast, but I respect the game.
No, we got to keep going. I'm going to be honest. We got through all of my bonus ones.
Okay.
So I have to just look here. Okay. Are you ready, Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
Blue Bloods.
Yeah. That's a show.
That is a show.
That's still a show.
That's still a show. I was hoping.
That's Tom Selleck, I think.
That's correct.
Oh, no one watches it.
But they're blue.
Hey.
Greg, to you. CSI Vegas.
There's so many.
Wait, we did NCIS Vegas? My
This is-
dogs are telling me
This is CSI Vegas.
CSI
Oh,
Vegas.
shit, dude.
So NCIS Vegas, when I guess, was not a show. CSI Vegas, I'm gonna say is not a show.
It's incorrect, Greg. That is a show.
Oh.
And finally, our
win.
long national nightmare is over. We're talking about CBS shows. Kyle, you win. Congratulations. Saffold
Thank you.
jersey coming to you.
He earned it.
Thank you.
Sure. And
Greg, and you watch the previews for these shows because you're Bachelorette and
Yeah.
recap.
It's over. It's over. My dogs are going crazy. They're
Well-
huge. They're huge Bills fans.
yeah, well, we're gonna wrap it up because there's no preview on this episode. We'll do that in our bye-week episode. It's just gonna be us three. We're gonna talk about fun stuff. But I will say this: in the bye-week episode coming next week, we're gonna open up the email bag. So if you have a question, you have a comment, send it to inthehuntcast@gmail.com. Of course, you could also use our Twitter, but why would you do that when you could send a nice email to us? inthehuntcast@gmail.com.
Come hang out at Wild Wings with me. I'll get you some chicken nuggets.
Reminder, sign up for the Patreon. Go subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, all that fun stuff. You guys got anything else before we wrap this up?
No.
Craig, you muted yourself and we can't hear you.
I said, go Bills, sweeto.
Greg, when are you going to Wild Wings?
I don't know. Maybe Sunday to watch some football. We'll see.
I might be.
We can pick somewhere better than Wild Wings of Kyle's.
No, dude, you got the gift card.
Yeah, that's true. I do have the gift.
We got to go get mini corn dogs, baby.
I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna find out that whoever gave it to me, it's a fake.
It's also going to be so packed.
Yeah. You get there a little early. That's why you got to get there at 10 a.m.
And then we have a Patreon episode.
Yeah, we can record Greg and Kyle eat chicken nuggets. Let's do it.
What about this? What about before Wild Wings, you go to the mall?
Yeah, and do some shopping.
Yeah, you do a combo.
If we went to this is a little inside for the Buffalo people, but if we went to the Boulevard Mall, I don't even think we'd get enough content for an episode.
If you walked around the Boulevard Mall and spent 30 seconds inside every store, that'd be 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, the Boulevard Mall really quickly turned into the Eastern Hills Mall,
which turned into the Summit Park Mall because there's nothing in there either.
That's true.
Right.
Well, what a game. Go Bills. We'll see you on our bye week episode, which Greg always loves to record. And we'll see you then. Go Bills, sweeto.
Bye.
The Bills won.